And just taking the first few moments of our practice to set aside all the things that have happened this morning prior to our practice. And to know that all the things that you're planning to do after our practice is complete will be there for you when we get after the next 60 minutes. And we've worked quite a bit on the lower body for the past few practices. Today's practice is going to bring some attention to the upper body, to the shoulders, working on some flexibility and strengthening. And also, we'll do a little work with the therapy balls and the weights for fascia release and strengthening. Deepen the breath. And perhaps notice how the body maybe makes some very subtle shifts. As the breath begins to shape the body. As we take the breath deeper into the lungs, as the belly expands with each inhale breath, and we draw the belly back towards the spine with each exhale, and really focus on emptying the lungs completely with each exhale breath. So if you haven't already done so, shift your body towards the front of the chair. Bring the blocks beside your lower legs, beside the ankles. Take the arms to the side. Lift the arms overhead with our inhale breath. And exhale, reach forward, and then bring the hands to rest on the blocks. And press the hands into the blocks, perhaps feeling the shoulder blades move slightly in towards the spine as we do this. Keep lengthening the spine. Expand the belly into the thigh. Expand the lower ribs into the thighs. Inhale, come all the way up. Our hands meet overhead. And exhale back to heart center. Inhale, raise the arms overhead. And exhale, forward fold over the legs. You may find the second fold that you can go slightly deeper. So lower the blocks to a lower height. And once again, press the hands into the blocks. Maybe noticing a stretch in the forearm. Breathe here and inhale. Raise the arms overhead. And exhale the hands back to heart center. Interlace the fingers and press the palms out towards the camera. Let's raise the arms overhead. And twist ourselves gently towards the right. Exhale, come back to center. Go through center. And then inhale, lengthen the spine, press the hands towards the ceiling, lengthen the side body. Release the right hand towards the floor and arc across towards the right side. You might even bring your block below you to support the right hand as we reach across. Inhale, come back through center. Flip your block to the opposite side and stretch. Right towards the left side. Keep drawing that right shoulder back and use the pressure on the block on the floor to help you stack the shoulders and look up under the armpit on the right side. And inhale, come back up to center. Inhale the arms overhead. And exhale, forward fold. And press the hands into the blocks. Inhale, come all the way up. And check in with your seated mountain pose. Heels underneath the knees. Lift all 10 toes away from the floor and spread the toes out as wide as you can. See if you can bring that big toe down towards the mat while keeping the little toes elevated, and then release onto the floor. Take a nice deep breath in here and exhale. Let's bring the hands to the side. Make a fist and point so palms come towards the ceiling. And then let's gradually bring one finger in at a time to make a fist. Open the arms towards the side and bring back to center. Open towards the side. Center for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, just before we do the next 6, bring the attention to the front body and firm that whole belt of muscles that runs all the way down the front of the body. Firm it up to support the spine. So we'll continue for 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and stop here. Now, we're going to repeat that exercise with the weights. If you feel that it's sufficiently challenging to do it without the weights, you can continue without the weights. Otherwise, take the weights Palms are pointing towards the ceiling. And bring the weights together for 1, open for 1. In 2. Exhale, 3. Exhale, 4. Exhale, 5. Exhale, 6. Exhale, 7. Exhale, 8. 9. 10. 11. And 12. Take the weights to the side. Roll the shoulders. Now we're going to extend the right hand down towards the floor. Inhale through center and exhale the left towards the floor. Now, again, concentrate on keeping tone and strength in the front body, but also trying to keep the pelvis level and as working towards keeping the weight even on the right and left sit bone. So 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8, 9, 9, 10, 10, 11, 11, and 12, and 12. Come back to center. Arms still extended down towards the floor. Raise to 45 degrees. Raise to 90. Flip the palms. 135 and 180. 135, 90, 45, and 0. 45, 90, 135, 180, 135, 90, 45, and 0. 45, 90, 135, 180, 135, 90, 45, and 0. Take both weights into the right hand, lean the right elbow onto the right knee, and extend the weights towards the floor for 1. Curl in for 2. And resist that downward movement for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Switch to the opposite hand. Extend. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. 11, and 12. Just take one weight in each hand and give those shoulders a full move through the range of motion. So forward, up, back, down. Forward, up, back, and down. Once more, all the way around. Forward, up, back, and down. Set our weights aside now and find our strap. Taking our strap, stretch it out in front of us, and let's try and line up that middle finger with the bones of the forearm. So find a comfortable distance and let's raise the arms overhead to vertical. Stretch the arms apart or pull the strap apart and come back down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale, lift for 3. Exhale down for 3. Inhale, lift for 4. Exhale for 4. Inhale for 5. Exhale for 5. Inhale for 6. Exhale for 6. Now, just before we do the second 6, again, bring that focus to these muscles of the front body so that when we lift the arms, those lower ribs don't push up. We're holding them in. So lift for 7. 7. 8. Keep the breathing nice and even. 9. And try and even out the movement through the whole range. 8. 8. 9. 9. 10. 10, 11, 11, and 12. Hold those arms overhead. Draw the shoulder blades together and down the back, and then pull the right hand towards the floor. Inhale, lift on the left side, pull it through, pull the left hand towards the floor. And then draw ourselves back to center. And perhaps give yourself a bit more room to take the arms behind. And let's release our strap. Just set it aside for the moment. Come to seated mountain. Firm up. Bring tone to the front body. So use the muscles, all these muscles, to help support the spine and to maintain that integrity of the front body. Breathe here. Now interlace the fingers behind the back. Open the shoulders, draw the shoulder blades in towards the spine, and press the knuckles into the seat of the chair. Lift and raise the sternum as you do so, and keep drawing those shoulder blades back together. Don't hold your breath. Keep breathing here. And let's release. You can give the shoulders a nice roll here. Inhale the arms overhead. And exhale, forward fold over the legs. Rest the hands on the blocks. Press the blocks into the floor. Inhale, come up. Our hands meet overhead. Draw the hands back to heart center. Press the fingertips and the palms into each other. And again, see if you can feel the shoulder blades moving in towards each other as you press the hands strongly into each other. And let's release and just shake out. One more thing I wanted to do with the shoulders, just with the strap. Let's take the strap over one shoulder. Stretch the right hand out towards the side. Turn the palm towards the wall behind you. Draw that arm across and start to work that hand up towards the shoulder blades. Stay on this side for a while. And exhale. Let's release that right hand. Now take the right hand to the left elbow. Draw the left arm up beside the ears and reach the fingertips into that space between the shoulders. You can grasp the strap and now do that same action as earlier, reaching around and either grasping the fingertips or the strap and stretch out. For me, this stretch is showing up in the triceps, maybe showing up in some different spots for each of you. And let's release. Draw the strap. Shift the strap to the opposite shoulder. Stretch that arm out to the side. Turn the palm to face the back wall. Draw that hand across the back and then begin to work that hand up towards the shoulder blades. So just remember this action. Now we're going to take the right hand up towards the ear, draw it in, reach down, grasp your strap, come around from the other side and grasp the strap. Take one more breath here. And let's release. So let's set our strap aside. And we're going to come up to standing and we're going to turn ourselves to face the seat of the chair. So just letting everybody take a few moments to get into position here. So hands underneath the shoulders, heels underneath the hips. And before we do anything else, those muscles, those core muscles, the muscles running all the way down the front of the trunk, firm them up, and then bring a slight bend to the knees. And play around with the distance that the feet are apart. You might find a little wider than hip distance is more comfortable. So just try some different positions of the hips or the feet to find what's most comfortable for you. So either grasp the edge of the chair or bring fists onto the chair, or if you have a nice wide seat on the chair, you might even have room to bring the hands flat on the chair. Firm those muscles of the front body, and then continuing to work on our shoulders, let the shoulder blades slide together as the whole trunk moves as a unit towards the seat of the chair. Exhale. And lift the back away. Inhale. Exhale. And feel the shoulder blades glide in and out on the back. And let's do that once more. Drop the sternum towards the seat of the chair and then press up and then come back to about the middle of that range of motion. So back the feet away from the chair. And now try to bring the biceps, the upper arms in line with the head, and stretch out in a chair version of down dog. Stretch, draw the upper thighs back and stretch the head forward. Inhale, come forward. Bring the body over the arms. Bend the elbows. Straighten and press back to down dog. Now either stay here or back the feet away from the chair a bit more and bring the body over the chair for plank. Use all those muscles in the front body to support the body. And we'll hold for 12, 11, 10, keep breathing, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And use the muscles of the core to lift yourself back to down dog. You can walk in a little bit. And now, if it's available to you, you might try bringing your elbows onto the chair, clasping the elbows. And I have a padded chair, so this might not work too well if you've got a solid seat on your chair. It might be a bit uncomfortable. Anyways, if you're on your elbows or still on your hands, back up and repeat our plank pose. On the elbow. So a chair version of dolphin plank. For 12, 10, or 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and walk the feet into a chair version of dolphin downward dog. Let's come back up onto the hands. Again, find that comfortable distance for the feet. And let's stretch the left foot out behind and either curl the toes under or come onto the top of the toes. Firm up the front body and lift that foot away from the floor. Release that foot onto the floor and let's stretch the other one back. Either come onto the top, stretch out the top of the foot, or curl the toes under to stretch out the toes. Lift the foot away. And return the second foot to the floor. Again. Now, let's stretch that first foot out behind again, and we might bring the hand to the top of the chair to stretch out, and then see if we might be able to draw the elbow to the knee for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And stretch out in a chair version of pointer dog. Release the hand and the foot back onto the chair. Stir the hips like you're stirring something in a bowl. And go in the opposite direction. And now let's take that second foot back, stretch the arm out, elbow to knee for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Release both hands onto the chair and alternately bend one knee and then the opposite knee. Let's stretch one hand out to the side, firm the belly, and weave that hand under the opposite armpit. Breathe here. Inhale. Bring that first hand back to the chair. And let's stretch the other arm out and weave it under the opposite armpit. And come back to center. And we might bring a block onto the chair. Walk the feet wide. Just to a comfortable width. And lower the head towards the seat of the chair. Come to rest on the block at any height. You may even need to use a couple of blocks. And concentrate on that contact between the forehead and the block or the chair. Let's inhale, rise up. Turn the toes out. So heels come in slightly. And bend the knees and see if we can come away from the chair and come to cactus pose or goddess pose. In this pose, think about giving a slight lift to the pelvic floor to help support that whole chain of muscles up the core. And let's release. Walk the feet back into center. And we'll come up to standing. We'll come beside our chair now to to finish our standing work with tree pose. So as always in tree, our chair side foot is the support. And think of drawing the hip in just a little bit on that side so we don't, it's easy once we start to lift that outside foot to let that hip sway towards the chair. We might just lift the heel, turn the heel onto the ankle, the calf, or bring it right up onto the thigh. Our tree may open its branches to the sun. And like we've been doing throughout our practice, make sure we emphasize that integrity of the core muscles. Draw the hands back to center. Draw that knee in. And either turn around or shift the chair to the opposite side. Now press that chair side foot into the floor, lift the heel, perhaps turn out. Come onto the thigh. One hand, maybe both hands. Find the sunshine. Strengthen the core. Draw the hands back to center. And release. Let's come back to seated. And we'll just do a little fascia release work before our final relaxation. So find your tennis ball or therapy balls. And let's take one of our blocks, turn towards our chair, place the block on, place the block on the back of the chair, and then see if we can bring, you're sort of stacking the block and the ball against the back of the chair to just get into those muscles, this area right in here. So that's the back of our chair. And then we're just going to roll ourselves back and forth using the pressure of the chair to get a little more deeply into those muscles at the back, along in the armpit. So those are the muscles that they were working pretty hard today when we were supporting the body in plank position. Rolling back and forth. And now we're just going to set that aside before we go to the other side and then come up onto the muscles, the trapezius muscles, those muscles that sweep up along the shoulders from the back, helping us to move the shoulder blades. Just going to release that. Take the fingers onto the collarbones, come right into that notch of the collarbones. Sweep out along the collarbone, right to the end of it, the top of the shoulder. just sweep out that once more. And then we'll sweep up the neck towards the ear. And now let's come to the opposite side. It's taking the block and the ball towards the back of the chair. And just begin, let's just begin by leaning into the pressure of the ball. And then you can roll side to side. Again, working on those serratus muscles, the muscles that held us in position, helped to hold us while we were in plank. And then release the block, come up onto the top of the shoulder. I always like this one. This one usually feels pretty good. Although usually it feels good, but you also are very likely to encounter some tightness there. Remembering to stop at a spot that's a bit nasty. And then maybe taking the fingers onto the collarbones and sweeping along the length of the collarbone. For 1, 2, 3. And sweeping up the side of the neck towards the ear. For 1, 2, and 3. And if you have 2 balls handy, interlace the fingers and just hold the balls. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing there. Hold the balls together like that. And just bring them behind the back of the head, and just below that ridge at the back of the skull. And see if you can just move the hands like that to massage those muscles right at the upper part of the neck. Or alternatively, you can move the head and let's release. And just if you want to do a little bit of work on the biceps, rolling there, down into the lower arm. You might even think of stacking your blocks and just rolling. These some forehand. And then try, just while we're here, we'll do the opposite side. And we'll wrap up our work with the therapy ball by just taking it between the palms, rolling it. This seems pretty easy. Seems pretty easy. But you know what I'm going to do to ask you to do next is go in the opposite direction. It's not so easy. And let's set the therapy balls aside. Let's come back to seated mountain. Stack up the spine. And use that muscle. Notice how the muscles are so holding the spine in a position that allows it to carry the weight of the upper body through the pelvis and into the seat of the chair. Inhale here. And exhale with a sigh. Let's inhale, raise the arms overhead. Take the left hand across the body. Bring that right hand in towards the sacrum and twist right. Breathe into the twist. And that shoulder awareness, use the shoulder awareness to keep the shoulders blades pulling in towards the spine as we twist around the axis of the spine. Inhale here. Exhale through center to the opposite direction. And twist, draw the shoulder blades together. And exhale, come back to center. Let's take one cat-cow breath and sigh out as we round back on the exhale. Inhale, come back to center. Take a drink if necessary, and then find your comfortable position for final relaxation. Allowing the body to be supported by the chair, but not slumping into the chair. Take a couple of our 3-part breaths, but then with each exhale, just allow that breath to become a little less directed. Till you find a natural flow of the breath. The way the breath might flow just before you fall asleep. Release any tension and holding that exists in the body. And finally, let the mind find stillness. Counting on the last 60 minutes of our practice to give us the strength and clarity to move forward with the rest of our day. Let's walk our feet back to center. Slide ourselves forward towards the front of our chair. Bring some gentle motion to the body as we deepen the breath. Bring the hands together at heart center. And thank ourselves for making time for our practice today. And for developing a regular practice. Practice that keeps us mobile, strong, and capable. Thank each other for sharing today's practice. And thank you so much for allowing me to guide you through today's practice. Namaste.
Thanks, Allan.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Allan.
Have a good day, everybody.
You too.